Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Shanti 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 Om Shwara Om Namaste. Uh, okay, just a few pieces that I find most relevant. The Rajasic person is very greedy for things of this world, and the sattvic people are also great here in this passage, but for knowledge and or peace of mind, but it's a kind of binding desire that may bring about greediness, uh, ambition in that sense as well, materialism in that sense, and also samsara tendencies, because whether you want to feel good about yourself by having external material possessions, but you may also go for a different kind of object, which is mental states of peace or accumulation of knowledge, which is samsara. Samsara is dependent upon external objects, as a means to feel okay, to feel peaceful, satisfied. So it's both brings about a sense of a greediness, ambition. So the sattvic in that case has a sort of intellectual samsara, and the rajasic is more like material samsara. No? So Arjuna is using the word anagam. The Krishna direct says, Arjuna, you have a pure mind. I don't know. We cannot trust what Krishna says to Arjuna because there is a lot of psychology being applied there to keep Arjuna moving, So generally we say that Arjuna is highly qualified, but I took him 18 chapters of the Gita to understand its nature, no? Arjuna is asked for more and more knowledge, which is an indication of a certain degree of qualifications which are present. And then you find some people that they don't want knowledge; they want just silence and peace, meditation, and and that may be a way to go as well. Mm. So you are not into the Upanishad knowledge, but you are into uh, deep meditation, but not with the goal of enjoy those effects of a sattvic mind, those states. But deep inside, you are going into deep silence because you want to know the true nature of the self, the I, the true nature of God, or the true nature of reality. Deep inside, some people taking the path of yoga, which is deep meditation to attain states of samadhi or deep peace and so on. Sooner or later, they start inquiring into the impermanent nature of all those experiences. So that's more or less what happened to me when I got the book of Siddha Rameshwara Maharaj, the Guru, the difference between knowledge and experience. I say, okay, so it's all good, but there is something which is absolutely permanent, ever present, never changing, never doing anything. And I want to realize that as my true nature, not those fleeting, changing states. So some people never get to that point. People who takes the paths of yoga, they are satisfied with deep samadhis and so on. Huh? So you may have attachment to those states. You may have attached to uh, spiritual knowledge if you are more yani, more inclined to the path of yani yoga. No? But anyhow, understand rajas to be of the nature of passion and to the cause of desire and attachment. It binds the self by causing attachment to activity. A Rajasic person has a lot of passion for life. Uh, and as Ramji used to say in the past, I say used to say because I don't know what he says nowadays, but he's still well and alive, and I wish the best for him. But passion is something overrated in society, you know? People, if you find somebody who is highly passionate, they say, wow, that person is incredible. Huh? And my son always had these features of being, have this passion for things, with so much passion and Rajoguna, and he was getting into trouble by having all those passions. So to have a lot of passion is better than to be depressed with a tamoguna predominance. But as we know, passion is going to push the person around, going here and there to experience this and that. And then the person later on cannot stop anymore. It wants more experience, more this, more that. So Rajoguna is going to bring about the passion for action and its results. It's not that Sattva Guna does not produce any sort of passion, but it's a passion for knowledge, which is different, which gives a different kind of palan, which is yana palan rather than kama palan. And as we know, but we look at rajas here. We have a lot of passion. Passion brings about a lot of desire. Desires unavoidably brings the problematic of samsara. The attachment is unavoidable for that which you have accomplished. Attachment for my goals. I don't give up my goals, and then I need to keep my accomplishments. And then when you see you are always doing things, activity is the nature of a Rajoguna operated in a human being. Highly extrovert and very much into talking and relating to people. All the time trying to contact other people, wanting to do things. Not that every Rajasic person is all the time, all over the place, contacting, doing, talking, because you may have a lot of Rajoguna, but at the same time, you may be shy, you may be insecure. And then you don't go for it. But then you have a few channels that you can go for it. So but generally speaking, if the person is not shy, has a certain degree of self confidence and so on, such a person is all over the place, networking, as they say nowadays, networking, physically or through the internet. So Rajoguna is going to make the person extroverted, which is nivritti, pradhana, nivritti, and praviti. Huh? Rajoguna makes the word pravriti, and Sattva Guna makes the person nivritti. So pravritti is extroversion, meaning going out in direction of something, and pravritti is moving away from things out there, which brings about seclusion, withdrawal. Rajasic is interesting companionship, people, relationship, interaction. We have seen all of that. You cannot put a Rajasic place in person in a extremely quiet, secluded place without have any device to move to interact in the digital world, you know. So the person is nowadays they say it's okay, I'm on my own, I live alone, but the person is extrovert, it's interacting, reaching out through the digital world, you know. But you take away the internet in those devices, and then we can see how much such a person will suffer. Sticking to people, or having people sticking to you and you stick to people. Swami says that these people, they even like to hug somebody when they sleep. They have pillows, but they want to use the other as a pillow as well. I don't know who told Swamiji this one, because I don't think he had the experience of a woman hugging him all through the night and he's there uptight. I said, oh my God, how am I going to get away from this one? I don't think he had that one. So we need all the gunas, as we know. Even to start Vedanta, we need Rajaguna, we need the energy to do so. And of course, most importantly, we need Sattva Guna to study, uh, to go into self-inquiry and self-knowledge. No guna is good or bad. Gunas are just energies which are present all over the creation, including in our body-mind sense complex construct. So since a passionate, Rajat person is very extrovert, it's also restless, and goes through a lot of frustrations every time it somehow it experience uh, failure. Uh, it has its ambitions. The ambitions are not necessarily fulfilled, achievable. Yeah, I mean, a highly Rajasic, passionate person experience a lot of frustration because we can't always accomplish what we desire. Here and there we do accomplish. Desire for external things, possession, binding vasanas, binding desires, addiction. And then he says, like the problem of having a couple, one person is predominantly sattvic and the other is rajasic. So one wants to be in peace and silence, the other wants to blah, 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 chat all the time. And you say, so, you know, the situation has to be managed. Of course, we have passion, we have desires, and which brings about potentially brings about a lot of problems such as attachment, frustration, and irritation, depression, anger. Every time we don't succeed, but we have to remember. Swami opens a parenthesis here to say that there are desires and desires. There are desires which are of the nature of selfless desire, or desires which is niskama, desire, wants to do things for the sake of the Dharma field as a overall, not just for oneself. It's not selfish desires, So, but even if you have a more of this karma yoga personality, those niskama desires may bring about addiction. So that he says you become a workaholic, uh, doing a lot of selfless desires as well. So it's the question is not to depend on any one of those vasanas, those tendencies, to have a certain mastery in a way that we don't want to be pushed around. We want to remain in control, so to speak, to our, our human nature, our tendencies. We want to have a say. I mean, we cannot control really, but we want to have our vote, our opinion, and say, no, no, no. I mean, I'm getting too much now into coffee or chocolate or whatsoever, and I have to be moderate and so on. But we are talking about Rajasic, people who get bound to too much actions and its results, attachment to the results. Ahamkara, my actions and my results, my possessions. Sattva guna makes a person aparigraha. He wants to drop things. He does not want to have more and more. He understands that none of these things are going to solve this fundamental human problem. And he understands as well that less is more because especially since you grow older, you need to to downsize, as we say, to be able to manage things. So dropping things. And Rajasic person does not like to drop anything. And here the tendency to stick to things is referred to as a sangha. As sangha, to drop things as sangha. Okay, he's going to be using this term for sticking, getting addicted to things or bound by activities and so on, which means I want to interact, I want to have association with people, place, and things. All of that comes from Rajoguna, which brings desire and attachment. There are two kinds of desire. This is also something nice to understand. There are two kinds of desire. Desires for getting something that I don't have, but I wish to have, and desire for things. Actually, we can divide in three. Desire for things that I have, but I need to work to maintain. And the third type is a desire to avoid what I don't want to even coming close to me. But here is saying that there are two kinds of desires. Something that I do not possess, but I wish, or desires to keep what I already possess. This is Rajoguna. I usually say in Portuguese language, the energy that moves one to go to get, maintain, getting, keeping, as Krishna says, getting, keep, and avoiding. The energy that gets us into running to get things, maintain what we got, and avoid what we do not want. Moving. So when we look at those tendencies, we say, oh, maybe it's better to have a tamoguna pradhana personality because, You don't need to run to get anything, to keep anything, and to avoid. You just, you accept life as it comes. It sounds very good. If you don't look at it more carefully, we'll say, wow, that's the way to go. And a lot of people mix up. They believe that that is a kind of positive, the special vairagya. But no, vairagya is to give up things that you can get, you can go for, or you can try to keep, or you can, you know, or you can try to avoid. So you just come to a point that say there is no point to try to control my experience in this world. And furthermore, if anything, I want to diminish my association, because then I'm simplifying and less subject to attachment. And attachment is the problem. And making him attached to karma all the time, Rajoguna, karma, sangha, make him workaholic. And we may argue karma is required to accomplish any and everything in terms of results of actions. Even karma yoga is required for spiritual development. What is wrong with doing those actions? So there's nothing wrong about being a karma yogi and doing actions, but again, you have to keep a certain degree of mastery because that tendency of doing actions, even with the spirit of karma yoga, can become too out of control, so to speak. No, I'm doing things as a good karma yogi, you know, but so how much you are doing? Oh, the day is very long. Wait 8 hours at the office, 4 or 5 hours in the house doing this, and then I go to the gym and this, and then I have to meet with my girlfriends, my boyfriends. So I do things more or less 18 hours a day, and I sleep 6 hours. So even if I'm doing that with a spirit of karma yoga, it's not moderate. You need to have time to give space for sattva guna to sprout. And then we have sattva guna, which is a tendency to want to have a break from all these actions. So what is the problem of doing karma? If you ask what Vedanta says, karma is required up to a particular stage as a good karma yogi, but then you have to become a jnana yogi. No? You have to calm down. No, that's why also you have to keep an eye on the tendency to do things as a good karma yogi. Because, yeah, no, and then I want to do selfless work. I want to do this. I'm serving God. It's okay. You can do it. Shimayananda, apparently looking from standing outside, he was doing things for 16 or 18 hours a day, they say. But he was not doing for any lower purpose. So he was self-realized and he was being moved by the Lord to use whatsoever energy left to spread the words of the Upanishad. But in the process of going from karma, dharma, upasana, shravana, manana, nididhyasana, one has to reduce actions. We need to reduce the tendency to do, as a good karma yogi, observing dharma and this and that, to enter in upasana. Otherwise, you are so restless that you cannot even enter upasana. So every stage, requires a certain predominance. In fact, uh, Kama Yoga is prescribed most for people who have already a lot of Rajoguna and a lot of karma, which requires, work, as a provider or as a mother of a family and so on. So that's why in India, the structure of the ashramas was so nicely structured in a way that after some age, you say, okay, it's time to slow down and begin to study scriptures, and then to go into Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana, seclusion, and then deep Nididhyasana to try to understand my nature, the nature of God. So sooner or later, one has to develop some sattva guna to shift to the predominance of more yin yoga and less karma dharma. Karma yoga has to be followed by yin yoga. But the problem with most Rajasic people is that they, it's like it's energy. The more you feed this energy with activities, mental, verbal, and physical, the more hungry that tendency is. It's like there is an expression in English, at least in the United States, you create a monster, you know, and then later on, when you want to control it, it's uncontrollable because it wants more karma, more action. It became a workaholic or karmaholic, you know. And then you see the person is going to fall dead and never be able to begin with Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana or deep meditation because, this is something that I understood from my early age, that this idea of, okay, now I go for it, I want to make a lot of money in this, and then later on I come back for my spiritual development. I knew that in the process of running to get the financial thing solved, I'm going to become less and less fit for spiritual development because I'm going to develop certain tendencies, and some attachments. Oh, I saw it clearly being manifest when we left India. We went to Italy and want to take care of the financial situation and so on. And then when I saw I was trapped with a house to pay, a business to run, and so on. And when you see the karma is just tying you, and you will no longer contemplate, study, meditate because you want to make money so that you can meditate. Later on, I will do my sadhanas and so on. And then when you see the person is too old and it was deceived by one's Rajasic Ahamkara, who Ahamkara gives us a lot of stupid ideas. It wants to survive the entire process of spiritual development. And what about Sattvaguna? Yana Sangana. Here we are seeing Kama Sangana. So this attachment to actions, and then Sattvaguna is attachment to inaction, seclusion, and silence, possibility of studying, and so on. So the verse number 8, understand, Arjuna, the tamas to be born of ajñana, and to be the deluder of all beings. It's an energy that brings about delusion, lack of discrimination. One cannot see things objectively anymore. This faculty of intellectual faculty of discerning, discriminating, determining things, seeing things, it depends on a balance between sattva guna, all the three energy, but with a predominance of sattva guna. Sattva guna is responsible for jnana, so therefore tamas is referred as the energy responsible for ajnana. So here tamas is referred to as ajnana, delusion. It binds by causing indolence, negligence, and sleep. So the person does not have energy neither to do things, nor to study and try to understand things. And the person says, so what? As long as I can sleep, eat, and poop, I'm good to go. So this is a very low level of human experience. Huh? Uh, Negligence, indolence, procrastination, and the person loves to sleep. They don't have problems of insomnia usually. In India is the most common thing. In India used to know in the past that most of the large majority, especially of the poor people, they were dominated by tamoguna. Huh? And you could see them snoring in the middle of the street and the bus passing just a meter away from them, and they have no problem to sleep. They sleep anywhere, you know, without taking any sleeping pills. So now let's look into this delusional energy that brings about ajñana, and the effects is negligence, indolence. So it's in this context, ajñanam means prakriti. I don't know why it says prakriti. Tamaguna is born out of ajnanam. Ajnanam in this context means prakriti rather than just ignorance. Because prakriti is the original source of the creation. From prakriti alone, sattva guna emerges and flows. Rajoguna also flows from prakriti. Tamaguna also flows from prakriti. Therefore, this tamaguna is also equally born of prakriti or maya, and therefore one cannot escape from tamoguna. Anyhow, I don't understand why to call ajnana here. Uh, Maybe prakriti. I mean, prakriti are the three energies. There is an energy which is responsible for jnana. There is an energy which is responsible for ajnana. And when I read it briefly earlier today, I say, why to tie it to prakriti? The prakriti has the source of the three energies, including sattva, the energy responsible for jnana. But doesn't matter. Prakriti alone produce sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamaguna. Therefore, tamaguna is born of prakriti. Therefore, we call it responsible for ajnana, and which ajnana means prakriti. Here we are dealing with what problems? The predominance of tamoguna will cause all kinds of problems, but not insomnia. What is the problem? The problem is excess of sleep. It reminds me of Ramana Maharaj. One time somebody asked him, give me at least, I know you like to teach by silence, but give me at least a very, very short uh, instruction on how to progress spiritually. And he just said, moderation with eating, speaking, and sleeping. So don't eat too much, don't talk too much, and don't sleep too much. Okay. So talking too much is excess of Rajoguna. Sleeping too much is excess of Tamoguna. And eating too much brings about excess of tamaguna because the mind is going to become tamasic because you are all the time digesting food. But we cannot condemn tamaguna. We are talking about the predominance of tamaguna. So the whole key here is to understand the building blocks of our own construct body mind and establish our goals in life and then harmonizing our lifestyle with our goals uh, under the understanding of what kind of predominance of gunas I need for that goal and with this new lifestyle which is in harmony with that goal, what kind of character, personality, Do I need a personality which is more predominant with Rajoguna, having a lot of Sattva Guna behind it, or I need a personality that needs a lot of Sattva Guna with some Rajoguna backing it up in terms of growing, yeah, developing spiritually. We have these two options: more Rajoguna, in the front line, and then Sattva Guna behind, or Sattva Guna in front with Rajoguna behind. So, but if the person is tamasic, the tamasic person is going to have the other two gunas suppressed, or there is another wording for this. It's somehow overpowered with sattva guna, with tamaguna. Sattva guna is going to be overpowered, and rajoguna is going to be overpowered because tamaguna is the king. Tamaguna is the predominant energy. So, and a tamasic person does not have much clarity of what he or she is doing. So lack of sattva guna, discrimination, is the basic problem, because you don't know how to transform your life, how to implement positive changes, and so on. And such a restless tamasic person usually lives a human life which is most of the case kind of dragging itself, being wasted. Some say they don't take seriously this human birth opportunity, which is said to be so rare in our scriptures. And they don't understand the timing. They don't understand that life is short and we need to do the best during our youth, and then a young age as an adult, preparing to live a life and developing a profession and values and interest in religion and spirituality. So if you are a tamasic person, usually you live in an environment, you are born in a family which is tamasic, you don't find a proper environment to come out of that dense block of tamoguna. It's very difficult, but it's not impossible. So if you live in an environment in which everybody suffers from delusion, mohanam, so you are not going to have clarity of thinking to understand the purpose of your life. You never thought about the purpose of life. The purpose of life for most people like that is just survive another day, survive another day, enjoy. If you live in Italy, survive another day and having a good ravioli, a good pasta, a good steak, and food. Survive another day to enjoy Italian food, Italian cheeses, and so on. That's most goal of these people. They don't have a list of goals in a priority manner. They think about money, security, and enjoyment of the sense. It causes delusion for these people, and therefore, what is the definition of tamoguna? Is mohanata makam, of the nature of delusion. Tamoguna is totally in the nature of delusion. And a Rajasic person is conducing itself to delusion, which is a predominance of tamoguna as well, because what happens, and James used to put it more or less in these terms, I'm paraphrasing him. You have a Rajasic personality and you go, and of course, you're going to experience a lot of frustration, irritation. A Rajasic person does not go usually into delusion, at least into depression, but experience irritation every time there is an obstacle between his attempts and his goals. If there is an obstacle, it comes frustration. So this frustration, sooner or later, is going to bring about depression. Okay, it comes a point, the person, the level of energy and the understanding that I cannot really control my environment, I cannot succeed in everything that I want to accomplish, and so on. The physical, mental energy goes down, and the person burns out, down, and begin experience depression. And depression is moha. So you're gonna have a mind that after running, and getting, again and again, the obstacles of life, and the person did not understand that he should relax because there is no control over the results of our intentions, our action, effort. So it's just anger, irritation, go stronger. It's like me here trying to find all these wooden eating things that today we discover they are still here. So, and then I say, no, I'm gonna win this battle because I have no other option. Or I let them eat everything that's in here. So some people may say, oh, whatever, let them eat everything. When they eat everything, in the end, they are going to go somewhere else. So, but if you're Rajasic, you're going, and then later on you're going to experience the problematic of samsara, which begins with this excess of desires, which brings about frustration, anger, attachments, and anger, irritation. And so the list of negative effects of a Rajasic, extremely Rajasic person is huge. It's big, and it's going to bring the person to delusion, mohana. Mohana is when you are so worn out, you are so beaten up by life that you lose your ability to discern, to discriminate, to determine, to understand what's going on, and the person goes into delusion. With delusion, always comes with tamoguna, and James used to put in those terms. You go for a lot of action and then cough and this and that, you go. But that peak, especially of this kind of artificial rajoguna coming from caffeine and so on, in the end, the person crashes, and in the end of the day, orders a pizza with a Coca-Cola and gets so tamasic that managed to sleep without taking sleeping pill that he used to put in those terms. I'm putting more in terms of on a macro level that a Rajasic person may end up totally deluded, due to the tamoguna that is going to to infiltrate or to predominate one's personality, saguna, nature. Some people are so intensely deluded that you try to talk to them and they are confused. I think we all have this. The person is so confused, you go there try to help the person when you see the person made you very confused as well. You know, so rather than you help them to have more clarity, now you yourself got confused. They will transfer their delusion, confusion to you. So especially in the beginning, when we develop more understanding, wisdom, clarity, it's better not to go there because it may reignite our confusing and more, unwise approach, or bring up a lot of doubts again. If in the beginning you study Vedanta, you're getting clear about what you are, and you start reaping the effects of living as consciousness, and so on. And then you meet some people that they're in trouble and they don't believe in Advaita. And then they start crying when you see they are trying to tell you and prove to you why they don't believe in Advaita, Vedanta. And then they start planting some doubts in your mind when you see like, oh my God, So what maybe I am just digital being created and controlled by a macro computer in some interdimensional there. My friend from Northern California, he came to that final doubt that maybe I'm not a God created human being. I'm created by one of these macro computers that control this planet. So I told him, man, are you sure that you want to? Yeah, Naga, I don't know. By now, I don't know anything. I'm very much confused. Of course, you keep approaching this kind of BS, you know? I mean, are you conscious or not conscious? Do you exist or you do not exist? So if you believe that you're a cyborg, that's okay, but I don't want your company anymore. I don't relate to cyborgs. No, I did not put in those terms, but I moved away slowly but surely. You know, I say no, I can't help this guy. You know, now it came to such an extreme. So we all know the nature of delusion. Oh my God, so many times I was totally flat, beaten up by life, totally deluded. You know, and want to drink another bottle of beer to get even more tamasic and so on. Therefore, of the nature of delusion. But thanks God, uh, at least for the children, it's up to a particular stage. It's okay, but there are people even grown up. So children, they in the beginning they are very ignorant and they are dull. They are they they need a lot of tamaguna and to sleep. They say when they are babe, they need to sleep, 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 and then Schwarz make sure that the body is growing properly and sleep, 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 and then from Tamoguna, Rajoguna start coming up and then start moving, 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 and later on it begins the development of Sattva Guna. But then Swami say here, but there are people who even after growing up, they are still so tamasic that they have no clue of why he's living this life. They have no purpose, no goals, no desires, you know. So they were born tamasic and they carry on with this predominance up to the last days. They don't understand that the human birth getting narjanama is very, very rare. Nar, nari, janama is possible. Nari must be non-human birth. Huh? Getting narjanama is very, very rare. Nari janama is also possible. So meaning to say you may get a birth which is not human. Is that what he means?
Narajanma is a human birth.
And he
So
says, Narajanama is very, very rare. Nari Janama is possible. But
yeah,
then he said Nari. What is this Nari? And then he said Narajana, Janama is Burladam. Is there a difference between Nari and Nara Janama?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Bottom line, they say, our scriptures say that human birth is a wonderful opportunity, but a lot of people cannot make use of it. But yet they came back to be a human being because a human being can always turn things around. You know, we have this spike of Viveka Shakti that something happens in life and say, no, now something must change. I need to get up, start moving this body, and start turning things around I need to get a job. I'm trying to help someone in my Brazilian Sangha that is hiding behind the concept of spirituality to keep living dominated by a lot of tamoguna, you know. So we have to understand once opportunity, the higher goal, next life is not guarantee we have another janama, manusha janama, or another name. Uh, we do not want anything. We are all liberate. Some people may say, that's why I remember that some people say, I don't want anything. We are liberate. Maybe Swami is saying to his audience, don't worry, don't worry. You are not going to have the next birth because we are all liberated. Sometimes he gives a juice to people, say, no, don't worry that we are Vedantins, we are all good. He's going all over the place using also Tamil words here. He used an expression, idling the time. I think they keep idling all the time. Mark, I used to love idle. I don't know, idling. I thought maybe idling that dish made out of fermented rice.
Oh, Italy. Yeah, Italy. No, I think he's meaning idling. Basically being lazy,
Okay.
wasting the time.
Idling, yeah, but would be nice idling your time, your way in life, eating. So
Yeah.
then neither means sleep. So you are a good sleeper. You have neither shacked with you. Therefore, most of the time, this person is asleep. These two are shutters. He is aware only. Dream and sleeping. Even while awake, he's daydreaming, as we say. He's not aware of the real waking state at all. He's either fully asleep or half asleep. It's not about dreaming and dreamless sleep, but it's all the time is walking dreaming or really dreaming. People are going to think that they are in meditation, but they are in a very light sort of sleeping. Therefore, Swami says, I never prescribe meditation to people tamasic. And I had quite some people in my group in Brazil that I had to tell, meditation is not going to work. And yin yoga, you should forget about. You're going, even if you have a good mind, I mean, good intellect, you have this block of tamaguna that has to be broken, destroyed. And for that, you need to insert rajoguna to break that block. You tell people, okay, and then if you like yin yoga, go Shravana Mana Nididhyas, the person is there and gives up very soon, or study a little bit, listen a little bit, and then you start tripping. Oh yes, I am a Mahatma, and I always knew I was a great Mahatma. I came here to guide my people. I have some people who told me that. And the person is tamasic. Tamasic gives room to a lot of fantasy as well, because the lack of Rajoguna does not allow the person really interact, playing the game of life and accomplish things, and then accomplish here, imagining accomplishments. And then Swami brings about this concept that there is something good about uh, a guna, a guna, a human personality dominated by tamoguna, sorry, tamoguna. He says the tamoguna does not acquire punya and papa. No? And of course, a tamoguna personality does not acquire karma palan because they don't like karma. So there are two kinds of palans. One is karma palan, results of actions, and the other is jnana palan, results of study, contemplation, and so on. So a tamoguna does not get none of these two palans, you know. And since the person does not do verbal and physical karmas, you know, this person is not producing punya papa. It almost feels like it's not producing prarabdha, but prarabdha is another deal, another business here. He does not produce experience of happiness or pleasures and pain because a tamasic person suffers but does not suffer much because it's a little bit more flat, you know. So a Rajasic person experience peaks and valleys, you know, highs and lows, but the Tamasic stays there a little bit flat, not experience much punya and papa. But the parabada kicks in. Parabada is different, you know. You're gonna have to deal with karmic indigestion because you did not respond to the stimulus coming from your environment. And now you are stuck. You have no house because you did not pay the bills and one thing. And then you say, but it's so tamasic, it's not even going to suffer if it goes to live in the streets. It may be as well if you are so tamasic. You are almost, coming to the vegetal kind of jiva level that you don't have much even preoccupations, you know, concerns and so on. I don't know. I haven't been there, but so he says there is some advantage to tamoguna. Let's say, yes, the person does not have to reap any palan. No palan from karma, and no palan from yana, from studs. There is no punya of any kind. Therefore, this is a advantage. The person is not going to acquiring more agami karmis, no fresh punya papa. But remember, this is not a great achievement. Animals also do not acquire punya papa. If I stay, I have not acquired any punya papa. It means I have been like any other animal. Is this something to be proud about? Therefore, it is perpetuation of bondage. Yeah, because it's bondage. I'm never moving out. And the chances are that I even do not get another opportunity as a human birth. Okay. Okay, let's stop here. And I have to sign here because otherwise I may forget. Okay, tomorrow I'm very busy with a lot of things, many things going on in my life, including this prepping and for my surgery. And we meet on Monday, okay? Monday I'll be good. Monday, let me see. No, Monday I have to go to Brazilian. We're gonna make our class next week, probably Tuesday, and Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. So, but definitely we begin on Tuesday. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Namaste, Om Ishwara. See you soon, my good friends and students.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Alinda. Good luck with the operation and everything.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be beginning first days of August. As soon as I'm done with my, we're gonna have a gap there as well. You're gonna be on your own Shravana Manana Nididhyasana because there will be the week during the seminar here, but I'm going to put you in the list if you want to go with the legends. And then following my surgery, I don't know how soon. I think I'm gonna right away go back to my class after the surgery because it says that I can comfortable sit down. It's a hernia surgery that they say you are comfortable sitting, you are comfortable lying down. Just the change of position that hurts a lot in the beginning. So I'm going to ask Sylvia to put me sitting and then I can enjoy my laptop and play with Vedanta as well. Namaste. Bye bye.
Thank you, Alinda.
Thank you.
God bless.
You too.